Hey, what's up guys? Andrew from American Musical Supply here at Winter NAMM 2017, day 2. We're on the show floor at Universal Audio with Gannon, and he's going to be telling us about the Apollo Twin MkII, and then also a compatibility update that is exciting for Windows users.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Andrew. So, welcome to NAMM 2017. This is day 2. I still have a voice because it's early. As our big news for the show, this is Apollo Twin MkII over here. We're really proud about this introduction. It's the newest member of the Apollo family, and it has improvements across the board. Talk about that in a second. For those of you that are not familiar with Apollo, Apollo is our flagship line of audio interfaces that have basically become the world standard for hit-making artists across the board. Since 2012, we've had an incredible adoption. They're on tons of Grammy records. We have Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, Coldplay, Brad Paisley. So people across the spectrum of music are using Apollos to make hit-making records. So what does it take? It takes great conversion. First of all, and we have class-leading specs on our A to D and D to A. They sound great. That's one of the things that separates UA from all of the other manufacturers, is that we have a 50-year legacy of analog design, and we bring that to what these things sound like. It's not just the converters that make that sound, it's the surrounding analog circuitry that really brings the richness and fatness of true analog sound to your interface. So you also need mic preamps. We have Unison Technology, which is a unique combination of hardware, or it's the hardware mic preamps on the box, plus software emulation of the tubes and transformers and the circuitry. But because we can control our preamps, we can change the impedance, make it impedance correct, and we do gain scaling that brings the actual gain scaling of the analog device into the digital domain and makes it fit. So you can work the input the same way you would with a preamp and not clip the input of the microphone. So two things that are critical to making a mic preamp work. The other thing is, on our high Z input, the 1/4-inch jacks on the front of these, we have the same impedance changing ability. So when you plug into the different guitar amps, like an Ampeg or a Marshall or a Fender, all of them have different input impedances, and that really affects the way that your pickups interact with the amplifier. So those two are unique functions of Unison Technology. We also offer real-time analog processing on the box itself. So what I mean by that is we have DSPs in the interface, so you can create a sound and monitor it and track with it and commit it, just as the same workflow as you would in an analog studio. It's really important to be able to hear those things as you're creating your music. You want to be inspired by what you're hearing, not guessing what it's going to sound like when you're done. So it gives you that sort of workflow that allows you to print and get sounds and go with it as you go. Then we tie it all together with this real-time platform, which is called the Apollo Console. This allows you to get your levels, get your sound, set up cues, set up your alt speakers, and basically manage the whole environment. So that workflow is set in the Apollo Console. So that's the Apollo story. Apollo Twin MkII bests the Apollo, the silver Apollo, across the board. So we worked hard to bring new conversion to it. So we've increased the dynamic range and lowered the THD. We've added more DSP processing now, so we have up to quad processing on an Apollo Twin. That's the first time we've been able to do that. So there's three models, the Solo, Duo, and now Quad. So that's a big deal for people that want to run a little bit more on their remote session or just add more DSP to their aggregated session. We've added a complete suite of control room features as well. So now we have a built-in talkback mic that has inserts. It's routable. You can send it to your DAW. You can slate with it. You can also send it to the mains if you want to use it in a live situation. Slate out to talk to your talent on the stage. So and a full suite of switches that you'd expect: mute, mute, dim, alt monitor switching. So all those things are now on the front panel, only one layer deep. So you don't have to hunt for it anymore. The Apollo Twin MkII comes with a suite of free plugins that we call the Real-Time Analog Classics, which are all the tools that you need right out of the box to start making music. Our plugins are authentically modeled. We use circuit-based modeling as opposed to convolution modeling, so that allows us to model the behavior of the circuitry instead of just taking a snapshot of one state of it. So you get the range of performance across the gain stages, and as you start to stretch and push the device, you get all those gnarly little things that often are at the extremes. So that's kind of the unique thing about UA. Plus, they're fully endorsed by the original manufacturer. So nobody else has true Neve or API or Manly or Lexicon or all the different things. We partner with the original manufacturers so that when we release something, it's blessed by the original manufacturer. So there's 3 price points. The Solo is Street $699, the Duo is $899, and the Quad is $1299. So there you go. Then the other part of this, that's Apollo Twin MkII. The other part of the story that's coming very soon is Windows compatibility for our expanded systems. We released single unit compatibility last November, so we're finally completing the picture here, and what you're seeing is an Apollo expanded system. I have an 8P and a Twin MkII together. So all of the things that we've been able to do on the Mac, yes, on Windows over Thunderbolt. So there's some requirements. It has to be Windows 10 anniversary update. We qualify and certify the Intel certified motherboards. So those all come with a USB-C Thunderbolt output. You need to use an adapter to get to Thunderbolt 2. But all of the functionality that we've had available on the Mac platform is now here. So we can aggregate the devices, and this is probably the most important thing, is our I/O matrix. We have complete control over our driver so that we can send exactly the input and output list to ASIO, as you would. So you can build a huge aggregated system with hundreds of inputs and outputs, but say you're working with Pro Tools, you're limited to 32 I/O in the application for a third-party interface. So you can pick which 32 you want and send it just where you need it. So you can actually put all your mic preamps together and they'll show up in the console in the same order. So that's a really cool thing. If you don't have Thunderbolt on your computer, fair not. We have USB 3. So there's the Apollo Twin USB, there's the satellite USB. If you don't have USB, we still have a FireWire solution, and we still have PCIe cards that are fully supported. So really, our goal is to come out with the most comprehensive offering and solution for the Windows platform. We've taken a little bit of criticism for lagging in our Windows development, so behind the scenes over the last couple of years, we've really worked hard to bring Windows back to the forefront in complete parity with the Mac side. So that's about it. For the latest breaking news and software updates, go to www.uaudio.com, and thanks for watching.
Cool. Thanks, Gannon. And if you're interested in purchasing any of these interfaces, like the new Apollo Twin MkII, you can visit americanmusical.com.